each day when she walks to the sea. She looks straight ahead, not at he. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the gal from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, he smiles, but she doesn't see.
Here we go. All right, everybody, we're going to continue our climb up to about 2,000 feet. We'll cross over this break wall you see in front of us. The break wall marks the entrance to the harbor. It's off the right side. This is called Nawiliwili Harbor. So this is the main harbor for the island of Kauai. This is where all our goods are shipped in. A little bit further up is the mouth of the Hulaiai stream. Follow it up, it kind of winds its way up there. But if you look on the right-hand side of the stream, you'll see a pond. That pond is called the Alakoko Fish Pond, and it was built there by the early Hawaiians to give them easy access to fish. They think perhaps as many as 400 years ago. They're not exactly sure, though. It's never been properly surveyed or carbon dated. Perhaps that will happen as the property has been put up for sale. The current owner is a trucking firm, has placed that property on the market, and the asking price is $2.3 million. So there you go, your own little slice of paradise down there. Turn on the microphones for everybody, and they are on now. Just like that. So if you folks have any questions or comments during the flight, feel free to use the microphone. Now, a lot of movies filmed on Kauai, and I'll be pointing out some of the shoot locations as we make our way around the island. But right out of the gate here, I'd like to mention a little movie for you George Clooney fans, a little movie called The Descendants. Now, there was a scene in that movie where George flies over from Oahu with his movie family, and they land there in Lihue, get picked up and brought to this point out the left door where you see this road passes through this little notch, the saddle. They get out of the Jeep that they're in, and they look down into the beach property off our left side, and they reminisce about the good times they used to have on the family property, that property behind the beach, kind of the backstory of that movie. Let's come to the right. This is now Mount Ho'upu in front of us, and this mountain is the tallest mountain in this line of mountains called the Ho'upu Mountains, and they are separate from all the other mountains on the island. This is Kipu Ranch off our right side, and look at all the cattle down here. This is all beef cattle. There are no dairy farms on Kauai. Left side is the South Shore. So over there is where the Grand Hyatt is located, along with Poipu Beach, Shipwrecks, and Brenikes. There's Sheraton as well, and the Kaloa Landing. So those are the big three resorts. There's also a Marriott over there as well. Levi Beach and Levi Kai Beach, which is called Gaylord's. But lots of nice beaches on this side of the island. This is also where they first started growing sugar in the Hawaiian Islands. Back in 1854, the very first commercial sugarcane plantation started right over here in the Kaloa district. And it proved quite successful, and so multiplied, expanded rapidly throughout the Hawaiian Islands. It remained profitable through most of the 20th century, but towards the end there, it diminished in its profitability, primarily due to the cost of labor here in Kauai. Labor and also just the general operating costs. And so they went out of business or moved on, and so no more commercially grown sugar in the Hawaiian Islands. Coming up on Knutson Gap now. And what's known as the tree tunnel, which is just off front of the aircraft. You can see the line of eucalyptus trees along the road. That's called the tree tunnel. And then Kaumali'i Highway is the highway, the main highway. It changes its name to Kuhio Highway. But the same road. And it doesn't go all the way around the island. Now you'll see these other trees that are growing in very dense groves. These are eucalyptus trees as well. You'll see them out the left door. And these trees are being purposely cultivated to produce biofuels. So what they're going to do eventually is cut these trees after about 15 years and chip them up, pelletize those wood chips, and burn them to produce electricity. We have one biomass power plant on the island, and from what I understand, they run it mostly at night. And that's because during the daytime, we get most of our electricity from solar. We have a lot of solar on Kauai. One thing you will not see in the island of Kauai is windmills. We don't have windmills on Kauai. Look at all the ridges around us. No windmills. And that's because of the native bird population. They made a decision here for environmental reasons to not allow windmills. You will see them on Maui, the Big Island, and Oahu. Now I mentioned cattle ranching, biomass, and the third thing probably would be coffee. Each island's a little bit different, but on this island, coffee. We've got a lot of coffee growing here. Right out the left door, the Kauai coffee plantation, which is about 3,200 acres of coffee, and it is the largest coffee plantation in the United States. It used to be the McBride Sugar Plantation, but converted to coffee about 30 years ago. And you can visit them. They've got a visitor center over there if you want to learn a little bit more about that. We're going to descend now into this valley in front of us. This is called Hanapepe Valley. Waterfall you see coming into view just off the front of the aircraft called Mana Waiopuna. That is the Hawaiian name, but it also goes by the name Jurassic Falls since the filming of the movie here in 1992, that movie Jurassic Park. So this is where they shot the scene in the movie where the helicopter flies up this valley and lands right at the base of the waterfall on a helipad that was built there for the movie. They removed it after they finished filming.